What's going on, guys? It's Frito here for your Overwatch. We've got the Season 7 patch notes. The game's in a pretty oddly balanced state. Let's see what they're fixing. Starting off with the tanks, Orisa's fortified damage reduction has been decreased from 50% to 45%. Good job, Blizzard. That is technically a nerf. I wish I could tell you that there was any breakpoint I could see this affecting whatsoever, and 5%, I have no idea. Basically nothing. Ramattra's Nemesis form cooldown has been decreased from 8 seconds to 7. Now, this one looks like it's a small buff, but actually adds up significantly over time. Contextually, in the tank shredding meta, Ram hasn't looked so impressive to me, and often will need to block a lot more than he used to back in his pummel days where he was running over everything. This is one of those like power creep changes that is going to give him a lot more armor over the course of an entire match. Armor health is insane in Overwatch, reducing a flat 30% damage reduction, and also giving him the other benefits as well. More often will be able to move faster, block, and when you add into the fact that Annihilation adds another channel of Nemesis form, his uptime on that is significantly increased. This is not a small buff, but his previous nerfs and the state of the meta might mean he's still not necessarily the top tank. One of the most impactful nerfs, I think, was when they increased the cost of his ultimate, so he didn't get it as often, but now with more Nemesis form, he gets a piece of that back. Wrecking Ball's quad cannon's number of shots to reach max spread has been increased from 20 to 30, which will allow him to apply pressure for a longer duration at further range. Because Wrecking Ball's power budget is tied up in his CC, his damage profile isn't that intense, especially when you compare to other tanks that more easily confirm eliminations, oftentimes by themselves. In Yeetle's Fall of Ball video, he kind of talks about this, where the healing values are so high that Ball can't really make an impact on his own. While not a big change in my opinion, I think there's a few targets that I think he'll track down a bit easier. For example, having an extra hit scan to chase down Mercy flying through the sky, being more accurate longer, you're going to hit those support hitboxes for a longer duration, which will net to more damage on those squishy targets. Change to Zarya, her projected barrier, which is the one she gives to her allies, the size is being reverted to match particle barrier. They tried for a season to make it bigger just for the heck of it, reverting that, and the health on the bubbles is being reverted back to 200 as well. Onto the damage heroes. Cassidy's combat role now has a damage reduction of 75%. This is one of those hidden low-key skills that Cassidy has that you actually can block incoming burst damage potentially by rolling while it hits you. If you time the roll perfectly, as when a pulse bomb explodes on you, you can survive it. And now the fortification effect gets even stronger. It so far, I think, has been a bit of a niche use case example where you actually meaningfully fortify damage as you're rolling, but at this value, 75%, maybe you can just like forward roll and fan the hammer into some things. And I'm sorry for everyone now that I've given you the idea that Cass can probably get away with doing that in a lot of duels. Mei has her Deep Chill passive removed, which was the extra little slow plus damage follow-up minigame that they added in the previous season. That's now gone. It's just a flat damage over time as well as consistent slow effect again. The damage per second is at 100 now, and it immediately slows enemies by 40% instead of building up over time. Sombra got a long list of changes. The machine pistol primary fire damage has gone up from 7.5 to 8. The minimum spread has been reduced from 0.5 to 0, and the number of shots until reaching max spread has gone up from 3 to 6. So it's a lot more accurate, starting at perfectly accurate, and your first few shots don't even reach full spread immediately. Reload time goes down from 1.4 to 1.2. So overall, the weapon gets a big buff. Her hack gets a lot of changes where the cast time has been reduced from 0.75 seconds to 0.65. Importantly, hacking will now cancel stealth, so you no longer can hack while in stealth mode. This is super important. A massive aspect of Sombra's kit is now changed. But the cooldown on hack goes up from 4 seconds to 6. And hack has a reduced cooldown of 3 seconds if hack is interrupted or if a non-enemy hero is hacked. So all of the various turrets or health packs that you can hack, you get a reduced cooldown on that. The hacked toast text now will only appear while you are silenced and not for the remainder of the duration of the hack debuff. Importantly, her Opportunist passive has been removed, and most crucially, with the old passive gone, Sombra will no longer deal bonus damage to hack targets. So there's not really a benefit to hacking a target you're going to duel with your machine pistol other than amplifying the extra damage on Virus. Now instead, she will just automatically go go into stealth form. Sombra automatically goes invisible after 3.5 seconds when not shooting, using a damage ability, or receiving damage. The stealth movement speed bonus has been decreased though from 60% to 45%, but the fade out duration into stealth has been sped up a bit. It was 0.375 seconds, now it's just 0.25 seconds, a bit snappier on that. The fade duration from stealth has been reduced as well from 0.5 to 0.375. So it was half a second, now almost a third. This is important because you're not going to be able to hack while stealth, so you want to be able to pop out, deal damage immediately. This rework will make her more lethal jumping out of stealth, but maybe less harassy in terms of her disable. She now gets a new ability, Virus, where you fire an infective agent that damages an enemy over time. Damage is dealt faster on hacked enemies. So it's not necessarily more damage overall, but more of it bursted to the initial cast point. The impact damage is just 10, and the impact damage on a hack target is 20. The damage over time is 100 over 4 seconds, but if it's on a hack target, it does that in 2 seconds. The cast time is 0.1 second in order to fire it, and 0.35 of a second to recover, which is the time it takes to pull up your weapon again. So just under half a second for both of those. The cooldown is 6 seconds, and the projectile speed is 50 meters per second, which is the same as Lucio's sonic amplifier. Sombra's translocator can no longer be manually activated. Instead, translocator will now automatically teleport Sombra after 0.25 seconds from being thrown or when impacting the environment. It will reduce your stealth cooldown after teleporting, and the projectile speed is much faster than you're used to. It was 25, now it's up to 72 meters per second. The cooldown has been reduced from 6 seconds to 5, but will happen after the teleport is completed. The cast time has been reduced from 0.1 seconds to 0, so you can do it instantly, and the projectile launch initial vertical offset is removed, so you can more easily go exactly where you want to with it. It's more of like an instant teleportation for Sombra. But what you want to do is master the quarter-second activation time on it. You'll always go that set distance when you throw it, unless it interacts with the environment, which could be a way to speed it up if you, say, want to cleanse yourself. EMP gets some changes. The ultimate charge cost has increased by 15%, and the amount of instant health it zaps from enemy targets goes down from 40% to just 30%, keeping in mind she got other improvements to her ability to deal damage on her own. Torbjorn gets some nerfs. His rivet gun's primary fire recovery has increased from 0.48 to 0.51 seconds. Very, very, very small fire rate change, keeping in mind he retains the shotgun spread buff that he got a few seasons ago, but certainly for the primary fire, this changes his ability to play like a sniper, even at a very small value. Another nerf, the overload over health bonus has decreased from 100 to just 75, making him a bit less tanky. Just a couple of support changes here. Whip shot for Brigitte, the damage has increased from 70 to 80, which I think is the kind of buff we may not remember in this moment, but will add up over time. For context, Reinhardt's hammer does 85 damage in Overwatch 2. Genji Blade does 110. So a ranged boop attack that's also a melee dealing 80 is kind of nuts to me. But I play Brig, so get rolled. Suck it, nerds. Last nerf is to Illari. Solar Rifle's secondary healing has decreased from 120 to 105 heals per second. Let's face it, your Illari teammate wasn't healing you anyway, so I'm not sure this changes so much. Jokes aside though, 15 healing a second is a massive nerf. Fighting against an Illari with the healing pylon and her solar rifle applying to a tank or a teammate, it can sometimes feel impossible to focus down the thing she's supporting, even with team focus fire. So that will have a ripple effect in those scenarios, I think, but also keep in mind that this is an important way that Illari builds her ultimate, which is perhaps even more important. So your team gets less health, you get ult less quickly. This is a pretty important Illari nerf. Guys, that's everything for the patch notes for Season 7. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. To their credit, they did address quite a few heroes that were standouts in the last meta, but I don't think this is a revolutionary patch that's going to radically change us away from the power creep era we found ourselves in, necessarily. But of course, we have not yet played with the new Sombra yet, and we'll be getting a new Roadhog rework in the middle season patch. So Season 7 has yet to form its identity. We'll have to hop in, try the changes, and see what we think. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you did enjoy the video, please be sure to leave it with a like, and don't forget to subscribe and click the bell icon to actually get notified when our videos come out. That's been it for me. I've been Frito for your Overwatch. I'll see you guys next time.